Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here. Day 4 of our 5-day challenge, of our video challenge. And today we have to talk about the teacher who inspired us the most when we were at school. And I want to know, who was your teacher that inspired you the most? How did they inspire you? What did they get up to? Just who was your favorite teacher? I had lots of favorite teachers when I was at school. Went to 9 different schools. So straight away that tells you that there were a lot of teachers involved. I had one that taught us Dutch because he was from Holland, and he actually had, who's actually from the Netherlands, and he had 3 different, standard 3, 1, 2, 3. He had hang on, how many? He had 3 different, what would you call them? Grades. Yes, had 3 different grades in the classroom. So he was teaching 3 different grades in the classroom. His name was Mr. Bacher, but he was really cool. But and he taught us Dutch. So but he was a really cool teacher, the way he integrated the 3 classes. But and then there was Mr. Griffith. He was really stern. But I liked that. He took no crap from any of us kids. And then we had, I had a lot of different teachers. I had some that I can't even remember their names of. And then at high school, of course, I had a different teacher for every subject that we had in high school. So I've had a lot of teachers. And then, of course, when I went to community college, I had those were professors, not teachers. But my favorite teacher, the one that stands out the most when somebody asks me this question, would have to be Mrs. Court. She was my English teacher for the last, when did I get her? For the last two and a bit years of my time at school. Because remember, I left school when I was 17 at about not even a quarter of the way through. Yeah, probably a quarter of the way through the year. I left school to go and join the Air Force. But she was my English teacher from when I was 15 through to when I left school. Just to give you age perspective. And she inspired me to get creative with my writing. And I've always admired her for that, for being able to inspire me to. She taught me the love of writing, is basically how it came down to. Now, I had some great teachers at high school. I had Mrs. O'Keefe, who taught me shorthand and typing. I had Miss Watson, who was my English teacher for the first 2 years I was at high school. What was the Presbyterian wife's name? Can't remember her name, but she was the home ec teacher, and I can't remember the clothing teacher that I had, but she taught me all the sewing stuff. She got a bit annoyed at me because I wouldn't follow patterns. But I had some incredible teachers, and then there was Mr. Hughes, the science teacher. He was awesome. He did some crazy stuff. And then there was Mr. Telfer. We actually had to evacuate the classroom because he actually accidentally mixed 2 chemicals together that should not have been mixed and created a poisonous gas. He was like, open the windows and get out. We had these big, huge windows in the classroom. But he made sure the room was there, because he actually ended up doing like cyanide gas or something like that. And so we aired the classroom out. And then when he said it was safe to go back in, we went back in. But Mrs. Court, she was my English teacher, like I said, for the last 2.25 years of my school. And she's the one that inspired the creative writing in me and inspired me to go out there and write. And I've always loved creative writing because of her. She would give us creative writing assignments. I was like, yes. And apart from reading, writing was my next favorite thing to do. And so she inspired my creative writing. In fact, there is one piece, and it is the only piece. It's one of the only pieces that I have kept from high school, and I still have it to this day. It's in one of my boxes in storage, but it is one piece that I wrote, and we had to write comedy. And so I wrote this comedy script about a horse race and got an A+, excellent load of rubbish. That was her comment on there, A+, excellent load of rubbish. And when we were going through the boxes and stuff after Brad died, I came across it, and my parents were there. They were helping me go through all these boxes. And I just started laughing, and my mum says, you know how I was always like the B average, occasionally get an A for effort and all that sort of stuff? Because we had the actual grades that you would get on testing, and then you would have the effort grade. And I always got A's for effort, but my academic side of it was about a B average. And she goes, yeah. I said, well, this piece here got me an A+, excellent load of rubbish. She's like, what? And so I showed her. Mrs. Court had written on the back, A+, excellent load of rubbish, school mag. So she wanted me to submit it to the school magazine. We did. They never printed it, but that's okay. I still have the original copy. And so I read it out to my mum and dad, and I had them laughing. It was awesome. Who knew I had such a comedic side to me? But yeah, Mrs. Court was the one that inspired me to go out there and and just write creative stuff. And I remember being in the Air Force when we were down at RNZF base Wigram, and my flight sergeant, I worked in the publications area, so I was in the libraries, and my flight sergeant discovered that I had this secret talent of creative writing. And so he says, so you do this creative writing stuff, huh? And I went, yep. And he turns around and he says, okay. He says, what do we do? How's this work? You just get given a topic? I go, yeah, basically. So he gave me a topic, and I went and wrote it and brought it back to him the next day. And then the word got around when we were over in the cafeteria in the evenings, and so other people would give me topics to write. And we came up with stupid topics like, my life as an abused tube of Colgate gel. My life is the tear top tab on a can. Just stupid topics, and I'll go write these funny stories about them. And I still have those to this day, but I still remember Mrs. Court inspiring that creative writing side of me and bringing that out. And I still remember that piece, and I still have that piece where she gave me an A+, excellent load of rubbish. So who is your favorite teacher? What did they do to inspire you? Why were they why were they your favorite teacher? Let us know in the comments below. Like I said, I had a lot of great teachers over the years and everything else. And but there were some fabulous teachers, but she's the one that sticks out the most because writing is something that I still do to this day. I never did it. I was on and off with my writing, but so far this year, I have written in my journal every day this year so far. And I'm going to keep it up. I've made a commitment that I'm going to write at least once a day, and it's going to be in my journal. If I do any other writing, that's bonus, but at least once a day in my journal. So tell us below who is, and it's all because Mrs. Court inspired me to get out there and follow my creative side in writing. So tell us who your favorite teacher was, and have a super fantastic sparkling day. Hei konera!